My name is Vahisha Hasan, and I am both encouraged and excited to be a part of your journey through this theology of resistance. I commend you in advance for putting your time and your energy and your effort into exploring these concepts. I'm going to speak with you today about resisting patriarchy. Recently, having moved to Memphis, I'm a member of Christ Missionary Baptist Church under the leadership of Pastor Gina Stewart. This will be my first opportunity to be pastored by a woman, a Black woman, and I am beyond excited to see what that journey looks like and where that will take me. Not saying that I'm resisting that you can't sit under male leadership in pastoral positions, but this will be the first time that part of my lens of patriarchy scales that fall away will be to experience this journey with a Black woman pastor, and I'm ridiculously excited. I'm going to use this term over and over again, so I want to attribute it to her, to Pastor Stewart, and she talks about a bodysuit. And in particular, the sermon that she brought this up in, she was talking about having to navigate the world and her environment in this Black female bodysuit and what that means to even enter in spaces in this bodysuit. So as I refer to that, understand that context for both myself and for her is a Black woman, and what this bodysuit, that bodysuit itself is a form of resistance, specifically in resisting patriarchy. One of my very dear and close personal friends is a pastor. She co-pastors a womanist theological based church out of Dallas. It's called The Gathering. Her name is Pastor Yvette Lavallee, and she co-pastors with Dr. Ari Sessions and Camila Hall. And I just want to quote, she gave me this just really, really excellent means to format. So this is our starting place. Quote from Pastor Lavallee. We have reached, I'm in full solidarity and agreement with this, okay? So just prepare yourself. We have reached the expiration date of being compliant and afraid to speak up. Too often we find ourselves in the throes of patriarchal systems that court us, hire us, violate us, traumatize us, and then dismiss us. We are often in places where we may have some titles, but no actual authority. I believe that we must be intentional in having deeper conversations around the importance of using our voice as a form of resistance. So that is our starting place. Both being in my bodysuit is my form of resisting patriarchy, and then using my voice coming out of this particular bodysuit is a form of resistance. She goes on to say, and I agree, this is true for Black women in particular because we have been subjugated, our voices have been muted, and we are routinely, as in systematically, intentionally, pushed to the margins further than other groups. And I don't mean this in some type of oppression Olympics, but I mean in I would say that she means in the unique ways in which we are marginalized, not necessarily the distance, okay, or the amount or the measure. So we can resist, she says, we can resist patriarchy and have sustainable impact by being courageous enough to unmute our own voices, tell our truths, and call out injustices. She sees it as a communal effort because when we speak up collectively, we are using our voices to dismantle systems of patriarchy. Our voices represent justice, represent healing, and represent restoration. It's a matter of understanding that this, our voice, is our intellectual property. And we have, she puts it, we have a right to use it. And I'm going to say we have an agency, an obligation, and a divine authority to use it and to do so. So that's where we're coming from, both from our voice as a means of resistance, coming out of our context, understanding who we are, the bodysuit that we are in. I want you to evaluate and honor and assess the bodysuit that you are in, and how can your bodysuit be used specifically, and your voice coming out of that bodysuit be used specifically to resist patriarchy. So when you're measuring, do I speak up now? What do I say now? How do I say now? At least know and start that the bodysuit that you come from, that you come out of, that you speak out of, is going to be a huge factor as much as what you say. Reverend Nichelle Guidry is a beloved heartbeat of mine. She was recently installed as Dean of Chapel at Spelman College in Atlanta, Georgia. And I'm going to start a little bit backwards in some things that she has said, but it goes along the same line. So she quotes and says, "What is preached makes a huge difference, but so does who is preaching." So this gets into this context. This gets into both the voice and the bodysuit. The quote says, "Anytime a Black woman occupies the space of a pulpit, her very body is an indictment on the systems that try to keep her out of that space. Our bodies prophesy and preach before we even say a word." So I want to even take a moment in this space, in this time that we share, and just ask you either how you felt with me even coming on the screen as part of your class. How did your body react? How did your soul react? What did your emotions do? Did your blood vessels constrict? Did you take a deep breath? Did you prepare yourself? What did you feel? What do you feel now? Hearing these things come out of my voice, hearing these things come from this bodysuit. And the more we assess that, and the more we honor that, and we learn and grow from that, we can both resist patriarchy, but not be a part of what holds patriarchy up. What makes patriarchy continue to be possible? Lee Edward Colston II talks about proximity to power, and in particular, this is identified as I would say a Black man, and he's particularly talking about white women in this context. This was a recent Facebook post and some discussion, and he says that there are some people. I think he was talking about white women, and I'm gonna just say there are some people, right, that will smash, or they will say, we're smashing patriarchy. We are here smashing patriarchy until the proximity to power becomes in question, until proximity to power is on the table. So until patriarchy is needed to employ patriarchy to secure that proximity. So when we're out here doing this work, and even as you assess your soul and you assess your heart, do you truly want equality? Or do you just want more privilege? And that means more privilege for whatever your bodysuit comes in, more privilege for whatever the context of just your voice. And that's work, that's internal work that we all have to do. So it's both being aware of, amplifying, highlighting our voice, being aware, amplifying, and highlighting our bodysuit, but being aware of whether we just want that bodysuit and that voice to have proximity to power. And this power is always going to be undergirded by patriarchy. Or do we actually want some concept of equality, some concepts and actions around equity? And that means that there are other voices and bodysuits at the table, in the rooms, in the discussion, resisting in community and collection with not just your voice and not just your bodysuit, not just my voice and not just my bodysuit. Because then we're still functioning in a patriarchal manner. So a very good assessment in resisting patriarchy would be to assess the labor of the women in your faith spaces. What are you calling them? How are you honoring them? How are you appreciating them? Why are the titles different? Why are there no titles? What is your denomination doing? How is patriarchy functioning in your faith space? Because it is. But let's accept that now, right? So once we accept that, then let's examine. Because if you don't want the labor to walk out of the door in our stilettos, particularly Black women, this assessment is now required and necessary. And this is what's happening. There's a flattening in the way that we are approaching encounters with God in the biblical text of both our humanity and both our narrative. But there are female bodysuits sitting in and trans bodysuits, trans women bodysuits sitting as you do this, as you flatten them. There should be discomfort there. You should be uncomfortable that you flattened identity. And don't even get me started in theoretical explorations, right? Because if we get into the voice and the bodysuits of where the majority of these theories come from, then it explains the patriarchal path that we are led on to even examine and explore the characters in the Bible and in the text. Our bodysuit. Our bodysuit. So as you explore this study, again, I commend you. I would encourage you to expand your exposure to voices, expand your exposure to a diverse array of bodysuits, and do some self-examination of your voice and your bodysuit and how you are navigating the world, the ways in which you are both upholding patriarchy, again, because you are, and then the ways in which, and I say we are, because it's so in the air and it's so ingrained and conditioned in so many ways, that this is work. This is internal work that we have to do. So find your voice, be aware of your bodysuit, understand how you are navigating the world, become a voice of resistance, become a bodysuit of resistance, and do that in collection and community with other voices and bodysuits in that same work. And for that, the kingdom will come. Thank you.